What if everything you were told about being a good person was only half the story? We all grew up hearing that kindness, patience, and self-discipline are things we should practice for the benefit of others. But what if these virtues were secretly benefiting you this entire time? What if being good actually made you feel good? A groundbreaking study just answered this question with over 43,000 data points, and the results might change how you approach your daily life. Here is why this matters to you directly. If you have ever felt drained after helping someone, or exhausted from exercising self-control, you might have wondered whether virtue is just a sacrifice with no personal reward. This video reveals the scientific truth behind the connection between moral behavior and personal well-being, and I promise you, the findings are genuinely surprising. Let me start with the fundamental paradox that philosophers have debated for centuries.
There are two competing theories about virtue. The first theory, rooted in ancient Greek philosophy, suggests that being virtuous is inherently good for you. Aristotle called this eudaimonia, the idea that living a virtuous life leads to human flourishing. The second theory takes a more cynical view, suggesting that virtue only benefits others while costing the virtuous person energy, time, and emotional resources. Think about it. When you show compassion to someone suffering, you absorb some of their pain. When you practice patience, you delay your own gratification. When you exercise self-control, you deny yourself pleasure. These experiences feel challenging, even unpleasant. So, which theory is correct? Researchers at Wake Forest University and Baylor University designed two rigorous studies to find out. They specifically chose to examine what they called hard cases, 3 virtues that are not obviously enjoyable: compassion, patience, and self-control. The first study used experience sampling with adolescents, capturing their real-time emotional states throughout daily life. The second study employed the day reconstruction method with American adults, having them systematically recall and evaluate their experiences. Together, these studies generated over 43,000 observations for more than 1,200 participants. The results were remarkably consistent. Both studies found positive associations between practicing these difficult virtues and experiencing greater well-being. Even more fascinating, the researchers discovered that while situations requiring virtue are indeed challenging and unpleasant, the actual exercise of compassion, patience, and self-control helped people cope with those challenges. So, how does this actually work in your daily life? Imagine you are stuck in traffic, already late for an important meeting. Your immediate impulse is frustration and anger. But when you consciously choose patience, something shifts. According to this research, that moment of choosing virtue creates a sense of meaning and purpose that contributes to what psychologists call eudaimonic well-being. You feel more connected to your values, more in control of your responses, more authentically yourself. The same pattern emerges with compassion. When a friend calls you with their problems, listening and caring does require emotional energy, but the research shows that this exercise of virtue simultaneously generates a sense of fulfillment that outweighs the cost. The practical implication here is profound. You do not have to choose between being good and feeling good. The ancient philosophers were right. Virtue is not a zero-sum game where your well-being is sacrificed for others. Instead, being good creates a positive feedback loop that enhances your own life. The next time you feel tempted to skip an act of kindness because it seems like too much effort, remember that you are not just helping someone else. You are building your own sense of meaning and psychological resilience. I would love to hear your perspective on this. Have you noticed feeling better after practicing patience or showing compassion, even when it was difficult? Share your experience in the comments below. If this research changed how you think about virtue and well-being, consider subscribing for more evidence-based insights into living a more fulfilling life. The science is clear. Being good is not just good for the world, it is good for you.